Hi guys, I went straight from the gym to Goodwill because I need to pick up some fabric to make mock-ups for two things. One thing for myself, which I'll throw up right here. It's a picture of BB in this mini skirt, like pleather mini skirt. It's super duper cute and I want one for myself. And I think I can make it. It looks like I could possibly make it. And the other thing is a piece for a costume for an acquaintance of mine. She works with my boyfriend. So yeah, she's commissioning me to make a piece for a peach costume and then like this like little cover thing. It's like a collar with like some puffy sleeves. It's super duper cute. The second thing, like that collar puff sleeve thing, not sure if I can make, but I can definitely make the piece for peach. It's like the little apron that goes over the poofy dress, so it's like the bell shape, and then there's like these half circle on either hip and then like a little white ruffle in the middle. I think I can do that. I told her I would get her some mock-ups by the end of December. I'll probably get into her before that. She doesn't need it until the full piece until February. And once I get the mock-up, actually putting together like the piece with the fabric that she bought, it's gonna be so much easier. She said she'd pay me, so this is gonna be like my first commissioned piece. I never really saw sewing as a source of income, but as I've been getting more into sewing, making my own costumes, altering clothing that I wear on a daily basis, I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Definitely not trying to be like a fashion designer or whatever, but I do enjoy sewing. I enjoy making things and like, you know, making my clothes fit the way that I want them to. And I've always wanted to like be able to make my own clothes that I actually wear. I don't know if I'm going to put it in this video as well, but I also want to get back into crocheting. My grandma crocheted, so I grew up like watching her crochet. So I have, you know how like sometimes you can watch something so much you get the concept of it and then you try it and you're like, oh, okay, with some practice I can do this. That's how I am with crocheting. Like, I definitely need practice, but I think I can do it. I want to make this. I saw it on Pinterest. It's like there's two. There's like a hat holder and then a jewelry holder. And I just like that it's literal like fabric pinned onto the wall. Like, I just like the way it looks. So yeah, I'm gonna go into Goodwill really quickly. I have to work today and I need to leave my house at like 2 o'clock and it's 11:23. I still need to go home, eat, shower, and change. So this is gonna be a speed run. You might not see anything in there, or I might not like pull you out of there. And I might not actually buy anything. I just want to see how much fabric is and if they have anything. Well, that was a bust. This Goodwill doesn't even have, I don't know, like a blanket section. It was only clothing, you know, typical Goodwill stuff, just not sheets, quilts, blankets, table settings, tablecloths, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go on Joann's website, see how much muslin or calico is. Maybe on my way home from work, I'll check the Goodwill in the city that I used to live in, because I passed that city. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I want to get this started ASAP. One, because I'm excited, and two, I just feel like getting the mock-up done as quickly as possible will mean getting the actual piece finished as quickly as possible, which is really like the most important thing. So yeah, don't know what I'll see next, but hopefully we will either be buying the mock-up fabric or starting the process. Hello, beautiful people. It's the next day. Yesterday I went to Goodwill and Joann's after I got off of work, and I did find some like bedding and sheets and stuff at the other Goodwill, but Joann's was having a sale on muslin. I've never used muslin, and I figured why not try it. I did actually end up purchasing something at Goodwill, and guess what? My purchase at Goodwill was actually more expensive than my purchase at Joann's. Only by $2, but still I think it's funny. So at Goodwill, I got these candlesticks. There's 8 in each bundle, so like 16 altogether, for 12 bucks, okay? And if you know anything about candlesticks, they're expensive. Every single time I go to Goodwill, I always look for candlesticks because I love candlesticks, but I don't love paying like $5.99 for two, you know, like the cute ones. Now, when I get shmoney and I have shmoney to spend on nice candlesticks, I will probably end up getting like beeswax candlesticks. But for now, for the vibes, these will do. $12. And then at Joann's, like I said, I got 6 yards of muslin. And muslin is like a loosely woven cotton. It kind of reminds me of linen. Here, this is what it looks like. So this is folded in half. So this is actually 2 layers of fabric, but do you see how like see-through it is? So let's see if I can get 1 layer. And this is 1, nope, that's 2. This is 1 layer of the fabric. So yeah, I think it's actually like really pretty. I got the unbleached version. It's showing up a lot more white on camera, but it's like slightly beige. I think it looks really pretty. So yeah, that is what I'm going to use to make the mock-ups for the peach apron thing, the little collar over dress thing, and the pleather skirt that I want to make. So hopefully the next time I see you, I'll be doing that. Hello, today is Saturday, November 4th, 10:34 a.m. I did some research on how to cut the fabric for the bustle pieces. That's what that thing is called. It's called a bustle. And I created my own sort of dress form thing. So I have her waist measurement, which is 27 inches. And I just want to brag about my ability to eyeball what could possibly be 27 inches because I did this. So this is the trash can I keep in my bedroom. I took the trash bag out, I cleaned the inside, and I also just put a plastic bag on top for sanitation purposes. I took some bandanas I had and I wrapped it around so I would have a place to put pins. And I measured, I had to, you know, do some, you know, down, up to figure out exactly 27. But I went ahead and made this 27.5 inches just for a little bit of wiggle room. 27.5, not only for wiggle room, but also because she wants to tie this. So if needed, it can be tied. And also this is just a mock-up, so it's not even like the final product. So if I give it to her and she's like, okay, it's a little bit too big, I just want it to have a little bit of gapping here, I can do that. But with most things, I like to get as close to the final product as possible. So dress form, sort of. Now the scary part, which is cutting into the fabric. I will link the video over here that I used to figure out how to cut the bustle. Without further ado, let's start cutting. Okay, so the difficult part about this is figuring out how long I actually need them to be. So maybe before I start cutting, I measure against the dress form how much I'll need. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I'm looking at that, I'm like, that is a tiny, tiny, tiny waist. I don't know what's my waist measure? Let's see. Definitely not 27. And you know what? I don't even think she's gonna be putting it at her waist. Well, it's supposed to sit above the hips because it's a hip bustle. Nice. Almost 30.5 inches. So she's only a couple inches smaller than me. Like 3 inches. That's why we make mock-ups, right? Because if it's not sitting where we want it to sit, we can redo it. But let me look at the picture she sent me. I say we just do it. I say we just flip and do it. Alright. These are the vibes. I'm washing my sheets. Don't judge me. Okay. And also the thing is, I'm not gonna be pleating, I'm gonna be gathering. So I'm just trying to get like a general. Now what? I just need to cut it. Cutting fabric is so scary, but this is meant to be cut into if needed. That's the point. As with most things, when I'm nervous to start, I stall. So I cleaned out and organized my sewing machine bag, and I looked up replacement bulbs for my sewing machine. Even though it hasn't had a bulb for 2 years and I've been sewing just fine, for some reason now I suddenly want a light. Let's get started. Alright, let's see if it gathers. I'm gonna like round it out, but I just wanted to see if this was enough fabric, and I think it is. I think it is. 11:30. I have to go to work at 2. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the second piece, stitch them up. I need to figure out how I'm gonna connect them. Maybe a ribbon. I don't know if I should do like a ribbon closure, like a tie, or like a button, or like the hook and eye. I also have to do the little front white piece. We'll see. I took a bit of a break and I'm actually playing with some shapes right now, and I actually think I'm gonna make it a little bit differently than I initially planned. So this, ow, oh! So this is what I sewed on the sewing machine. A quick straight stitch looks like. It's not terrible, it's actually doing the job. But then I just decided to drape the fabric again in a sort of different shape. And this is what I got, something like this. The pins are coming out because it's too heavy, but I definitely like this a lot better. I went ahead and took pictures and videos of both sides. The second one looks most similar to the photo that she sent me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the second one. But right now, I need to put this on pause, get ready to work and leave. I got up at 5, so I should be able to start the rounded version. See you later. Hello, beautiful people. It is the next day. Yes, I'm in the same outfit. I don't care. So, yesterday, I did not work on it at all, but this morning, I tried to sew, or I draped the fabric how I cut and draped the fabric how I thought I initially wanted to try to do it, and it did not work. I didn't record anything that I did this morning. It's still this morning, it's 11 a.m. I didn't record anything I did earlier because my boyfriend was here, so I was talking to him and stuff. But then I thought, okay, let me just sew it how I originally thought it would be. So when I watched a tutorial on a girl doing the Princess Peach cosplay, which I linked earlier, what she did was she made a really long rectangle and she curved the edges, and then she base stitched the top, the flat top part, and she gathered. And that created a half circle because the rectangle was cut and with its edges circular, and it was gathered. But for the picture that my friend sent me, she didn't, in her picture, there's sort of like drape lines, if that makes sense. So I was trying to figure out how to get those half circles. So what I did initially was I did it the way that the girl did it. So I cut a rectangle with rounded edges, base stitched the top, gathered, and it gathered. Like it just looked like a gathered skirt. It was like very up and down gatherings. But then I was like, okay, let me try it the other way. So instead of sewing the straight line, I sewed around the edge of a smaller piece of fabric, and I sewed around the circular edge of another piece of fabric and gathered, and I got this, which has that sort of rounded drape lines in it. And if I pull it open, you can see that I gathered along the round edge. So by gathering it around the long edge, it's still, or the rounded edge, it still gathers to have a straight line at the top, but the rounded parts have that sort of U-shape look to them, which is what I wanted, because that is what she gave me in the reference. And I just want to say, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I had no idea how to make that. I'm a genius. So what I'm gonna do now is cut rounded edges on the second piece of fabric, because there's two panels, base stitch around the rounded edges, gather, pin, see how I like it, then make the little center white piece, then create like a band or a belt or something to go around it, around the top, to connect everything, and then tie it off. So those are the vibes. See you when I see you.
in big box stores and nurseries, but it's not very common to find them this large. So when I did find one in LA that was this big, I had to buy it. I really love when plants are kind of lanky and you can see their structure and their shape. So this one.
Store buy garlic by infecting your garden bed. So that is why out codes if you're interested in getting yourself some garlic seeds grown. I love garlic.
It's been a few weeks, and about a week ago I got all the fabrics that I needed. Whew, and I did the scary thing. I did the first cut. So what I did was I actually took apart the mock. She wanted it 4 inches longer and a little bit more swoopy, so I added about 4 inches of excess fabric, so when I bunch it together it'll have more drapes. And I did the front half, now I have to do the lining on the inside. There wasn't enough fabric to have the inside and the outside be the same, but she gave me some white fabric for the little center part, and there's a bunch, so I'm gonna use that as the lining. And then it's just a matter of putting it together. Honestly, the hardest part for me is getting started, and by getting started I mean making the cuts. And since I already made my first cut, I feel a little bit more confident because I can use this now as my pattern piece for the next 2 pieces. And I make my life easier. I do it on a fold. Actually, I do it on a double fold. So I fold it once and then again, because that gives me 2 rather than just 1 symmetrical piece. It gives me 2 symmetrical pieces. The thing is, I need to iron the fabric and I don't have an iron anymore. Apparently, my brother broke the iron that we had. So I'm sitting here using a flat iron. And this is a larger piece of fabric, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna flat iron the whole thing. I don't know. I'll update you when I get to sewing.
I need him, unfortunately. And that's so real, because there are some people who do it, you need them, it's just a shame. I need him. Song of the week is Dispo by Carol G.
Oh my freaking god, bro.
Especially in order to have an update before this video gets posted. So I'm sorry I don't have an update on the pendant light selling just yet, but that might just be enough to tune in to the next episode, and hopefully the right buyer has come along.
Hello friends, it is many weeks later. The piece has been given to her, she liked it, she's happy with it. I stopped filming after that little thing because it was really upsetting me. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit in the next video, but like, it was causing me so much stress that I would take like multiple day breaks between like certain steps. Like I would literally sew one side
not touch it for a day because I just couldn't deal with it because it was stressing me out because I wanted it to be perfect, even though this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I ended up giving it to her on December 21st, and today, January 7th, she just got her mock and she sent me back pictures and like examples of what she wants altered and how she would like it to be altered. So then next time she's using my boyfriend, she's gonna give it back to him. I'm gonna take it apart, do all the things that she wanted me to do, and then put it back together. For some reason, this specific item, I was able to finish the mock a lot faster than the first one, and I don't know, maybe it's just my confidence, or maybe it's because I was able to make a pattern from an article of clothing she gave me. I don't know. You'll see it in the next video. But yeah, here is the finished product when it's laying down, and maybe in the next video I can show you what it looks like all together, and I'll ask her to send me a picture of her wearing it all. Bye, hope you enjoyed, see you later.